The title of this video was meant to be a double meaning. I'm sure some of you clicked on this video and thought, he's finally done it. Golden FM has released a new video after all these years. And I guess that's one interpretation of the video title. But the other one was meant to be something to do with the fact that I thought I had achieved something on Football Manager that I'd never achieved before. I thought a brand new stadium was going to be named after me on Football Manager 2024, but that is not the case. Come and have a look. The brand new 85,500 seater stadium for West Ham United has been called West Ham Stadium. How pathetic is that? I know I'm only in season 12, but the fact that I have pretty much won everything, I thought I had a chance of the stadium being named after me. I am a club legend. Here I am. I should be at the top, I think. I mean, I've won so much. 4 Champions League, 7 Premier League titles. I've won the FA Cup 5 times, the Carabao Cup 3 times, the Europa League earlier on in the save, Super Cup, World Club Championship last year. You know, I've won everything. So I thought there was a chance I would finally have a stadium named after me on Football Manager after all these years. But nope, West Ham Stadium. Anyway, here I am with a new Football Manager video for the first time in a few years. It's basically 5 years since I stopped making Football Manager videos on this channel. And I'm sure some of you are wondering why. Why did that happen? I've done the odd tweet. I've made a couple videos since then and sort of semi-explained it. But I have made a video to talk about it, ramble on a bit about what has happened in my life in the last 5 years. I've put a link to it in the video's description below. That's the only way to access that video. It's an unlisted video. So if you are interested, have a watch. I think it's about 11 minutes long, me just walking around my local woods, rambling away. But I thought I'd make a video about this save with West Ham. I've had a couple saves in the last couple years where I thought I'm going to make a video, and I just didn't. I had a West Ham save on FM22 and a British Isles journeyman save on FM23, which I was pretty proud of. But just didn't get around to make a video. I just wasn't motivated. But I am for this. Hopefully it's going to be okay. Sorry if it's a bit rusty. So, yeah, season 12 of this West Ham save. Here I am. I started as a Sunday League footballer as well. I wanted this to be authentic. But also I wanted to have fun. I wanted to create a few rules for myself and just play and enjoy Football Manager like I used to before YouTube. I wasn't having to think, I have to upload a video and I have to make a video, upload it before I can continue playing. Before I started this YouTube channel, I would just play the game like most of you guys. Just play through and enjoy. And that's been quite refreshing over the last few years. And on the few saves that I have, I've not played Football Manager huge amounts, but when I have, I've really enjoyed it. I started this save 12 months ago, so I've not been playing it religiously. Like back at university, and I've probably got through 12 seasons in a month. It's taken me 12 months to get to this point, what with life. I did become a dad in November 2023, so I spent a lot of time with my daughter. It's been wonderful. It's honestly the best thing ever. So that's obviously prevented me from playing Football Manager that much, on top of the fact that I have a day job and other stuff in life. Anyway, we started way back in the 2023-24 season, of course, and it was pretty average first season, finishing 10th, 47 points. But I wanted to play the youth quite a lot, so I think to finish 10th was okay. I'm just going to whiz through the 11 Premier League seasons that I've completed, so you can just see the journey generally in terms of league campaigns. So I did actually manage to qualify for Europe the next year, finishing 6th with 69 points, qualifying for the Europa League, which we, I believe, won. Yeah, we did. We went on to win the Europa League that year in 2026, finishing 7th, so we wouldn't have qualified for the Champions League ordinarily, but of course by winning the Europa League we did qualify. Following season we won the Premier League, And we went on to win a few in a row, as you can see here. 3 in a row, 92 points in the 2028-29 season, before finishing second at Arsenal in 2030. But since then, I have won it every year pretty comfortably. 96 points, 105 points a couple seasons ago, and then even better... No, actually 100 points. Then even better, 107 points last year, only losing one game. I've never managed to achieve an unbeaten season, as you can see. But I've really enjoyed this save, and we've had some extraordinary players. I suppose Axel's probably, on paper, the best player that I've signed. £60 million, Spanish, elite attacking midfielder, but I play him as an advanced forward. Other brilliant players, Owen McDonald, another Spanish player in fact, signed for £76 million. I have spent money, but I made huge amounts of profit early on in this save, and there's also been some absolute bargains. This guy I actually put on Reddit recently, and it did quite well because of how good he is. He's 21 now, I signed him when he was 18. Look at him, unbelievable player, such a fun player, dribbling, flair, long shots, free kick, set pieces, amazing. And guess how much I signed him for? £3.4 million. I think that's the best signing I've ever done on Football Manager. Absolutely insane. And to be honest, he was pretty good when I signed him, but obviously he has progressed over the years. Like, all the attributes have gone up, but he was very good when I first signed him. So as I said, I did make good profit early on. And I did sell players. I was quite ruthless. So I didn't really make profit on the current real-life West Ham players. I just wanted to get rid of them, to be honest. Apart from, Zuma, 52 million rising to 61 million going to Saudi Arabia. That was a really good deal. Paqueta I sold. That would have been a loss compared to real life. But he just doesn't really work on Football Manager, I find. Vlasic went. I suppose those two are real-life transfers out. Sold a Gerd to Everton, Kera for 15 million, Sofao went for 10 million, sold Antonio to Everton for not very much. But I just wanted to get some cash in and spend some money. So coming in, Frendrup from Genoa, who I ended up selling for £60 million to Newcastle. So that's a great example of profit. Dewsbury Hall, I was a little bit disappointed with that one. He's actually retired, so I don't know if we can see... Oh, here we go. Yeah, that was a disappointing transfer. So some transfers were a miss, but some really were a hit. Abo was a brilliant transfer. £3 million from Norwich, and at one point I think he finished top goal scorer in the Premier League. He got 31 goals this season in his third season for the club, and I eventually sold him to Schalke. I just wasn't quite good enough for my current team, I suppose. Like, we just moved on beyond him. Brunetti, who I signed for 17 million, sold for 54 million pounds. Probably should have got more for him, really. Adingra as well, 40 million pound transfer, but sold him for 60 million pounds a couple of years later. Dorgu, who in real life has moved to Man United, of course, signed for 7 million, sold to Liverpool for 53 million. So, early on I was making a lot of profit, and it was helping me build a squad that I wanted. Second season, I sold Alvarez to Newcastle. Emerson went out. Fornals went out. Incomings included Coyote for 30 million. What a signing. I've still got him. Absolute legend. Look at all these. I think he's made the most appearances out of any player for me on this save. Now, at this point, I didn't have specific rules in place, but I was trying to sign youngsters on the whole. Archie Gray, for example, came in for 17.75 million, recently sold to Man United for 73 million pounds. Zaragoza, another young player that came in. I don't know how young he was when I signed him, but once again, huge profit on him. But I did bring in older players. I brought in Hugo Lloris, for example, and also I did bring in, when did he come in? James Milner. He was 40 at the time, and I brought him in. He played his last year at West Ham. But after this point, I did instill a rule where I could only sign players 21 and under. That I've strictly kept to that the last few years. I can't remember when exactly that was implemented. It was after the James Milner transfer. Is it Simon? Seaman? Not sure. Dennis, £49 million. Once again, a release clause, but huge profit. There was some sort of fairly obscure transfers. Sam Curtis, who I actually converted into a pressing forward for a season, and he did all right actually. He did get a few goals for me, and went out on loan. Eventually sold to Portsmouth. But yeah, I did a really good job at making profit on players early on. There were players, like I said, that I didn't make a profit on, but overall, I think early on, probably 90% of the transfers were pretty good. This guy was considered a wonder kid at Charlton. Didn't quite reach those heights, but I still managed to make a profit on him. As you can see, sold Jarrod Bowen to Man United for 70 million this year. James Ward-Prowse to Real Madrid of all places. I got lucky there. Areola to Brighton for 33 million. So I did do really well with some of these real West Ham players, managing to get them out the door for a decent amount of money. But this is when I started to spend serious money on youngsters. Owen McDonald, Lee Reese, what a player he's turned out to be. Doesn't really start for me these days, but he is a starter for England. I didn't really know if he'd be good enough. At one point, I was worried I'd overspent on him, but I certainly haven't. If we just look at his progress, you can see he really developed very well early on. He's 26 now, but he's a quality striker. Also can play on the wing. So I signed Bellingham, JB Bellingham from Sunderland, which, did I make a profit on him? I did, £15 million profit. Chris Rigg came in as well. I don't think I sold him for profit. Just under $1 million. So just about. Some players I was quite ruthless with. They'd come in, I'd realise, they're not going to be good enough, and I'd sell them on. For example, Andy Downey. I did actually lose money on him because I just realised he's not going to be good enough for me long term. We've got to the point where most of the players are regens. Particularly by this point, all the players coming in were regens, or new gens, however you want to call them. I kind of overspent on this goalkeeper, Matt Harris. He's my backup now, 50 million. Rose to 56 very recently because he's reached 10 caps for England. He's good, but he's not quite good enough for me now to be number one. This is my number one, a Serbian. He's quality, he really is. And I've also got a young Belgian coming through who I've got high hopes for, signed for just 25.5 million. That's a pretty hefty fee, but I think he's going to go on to big things. This guy, what a signing, Hitanu. My second choice ball winning midfielder. But, and you're probably thinking, why is he second choice? Wow. I have this chap called Kingsford Owusu who came through in my first youth intake way back in 2024. And he's an absolute legend. He's captain of the club. He's not got amazing leadership, 15, decent, but what a ball winning midfielder. Look at that. Tackling 16, aggression 19, bravery 18. Physically good. Strength could be a bit higher. I've tried to build his strength. He just doesn't seem to be able to get beyond 15. But mentally as well, I mean, what a player this guy is. I love him. So I was building a lot of wealth, which was why I was in the position to be able to buy a stadium in the end. Shaquille Van Persie was probably the last real-life player that I signed. I guess I probably signed him when he was 21. He's been a fantastic player for me. Loads of goals, as you can see here. Over 20 goals in all competitions every single season. This is the year I signed Axel. Signed Elias Sebar as well. Fantastic centre-back for £50 million. He's got 114 caps for Morocco at the age of 27. And Morocco recently finished second at the World Cup. Portugal have won 2 times in a row. England won the 26 World Cup, by the way, but Portugal have won it twice in a row since then. Helped by, I'm jumping around a lot here, sorry. Helped by Andre Fernandez, who I signed for £117 million from Newcastle. Wish I'd caught him earlier, but he's been a fantastic signing. What a right back he is, and obviously won 2 World Cups with Portugal, multiple things with me as well. So I had this rule: only sign under 21 players, but at the same time, I was only relying on my scouts. I'm not looking myself. I do have attributes unmasked, so I can look at players if I want to and see what they are without having to scout them. But I've made it that I can only sign players recommended by my scouts going around the world, and I'm finding these players. So that's why I do miss players, which is annoying. Leeds in particular have a player I wish I had managed to get before he was 21. Don't know how he's only got 15 caps for England, because he's absolutely insane. But yeah, that's one player that I'm really annoyed about missing. I feel like I've missed a couple players as well. Like, just looking at my current squad, my other centre-backs, I've got Sabah the Moroccan, but also this Italian, Corelli, who came in for £78 million. I do spend big on players when I know they're real quality players. So him, Sabah, but also Vio, another Italian, signed for just £23 million, but he is exceptional as well. And we've also got a Polish defender who's already been described as an elite centre-back. He's 22. Not as good as the other three, but he's pretty good, isn't he, looking at him? We've spoken about Owusu. I've got another really good Romanian ball-winning midfielder. I've tried to sell, but no one seems to want to spend big on him. But he's exceptional, so I want money for him. Bryant came in recently, a Frenchman, who I signed for £115 million. As you can see, I am spending money on this save, but only on players 21 and under. I'm having fun. It's really enjoyable. The other player I was wanting to show you, there was this Colombian chap signed for just £3 million, and Liverpool now want him. I think they're thinking about offering about £100 million for him. He's basically my second choice right back. His best position is Ramdoita, but I play him as a wing back behind Fernandes, the Portuguese player. Recently signed player, Geronimo. What a name! Geronimo, only 18, and set for big things. Ferreira, an Argentinian. He's been an interesting story, because he just didn't quite manage to do it for me, and he was behind McDonald, the Spaniard. So I loaned him to Benfica, and he got 51 goals in all competitions that season. Top goal scorer in the Champions League, top goal scorer in the Portuguese League, of course. 51 goals. I was thinking of selling him, but I couldn't after that. And he managed to get 17 last year, despite, lots of starts, but even more sub-appearances. I really like him. But, that season for Benfica was unbelievable. And more recent signings as well. Someone called Christ Matondo. And he's great. I've got some fantastic strikers, good strikers out on loan as well. I've used the loan market effectively. I think I've got this Italian that's currently out on loan, this Spanish wonder kid out on loan. I signed this guy for 50 million. I did overspend on him. I spent way too much money on English players recently. If we just look at the transfer history, let's go back to now. Present day, I have been spending money on English players, particularly last year. I did overspend on some players, I think, or maybe it was the year before. I've definitely overspent on some players. Yeah, McGregor, for example, 22.5 million. Only sold him for 9.5. I knew he wasn't going to be good enough, so I just cashed in when I could. This guy, Reece Young, I managed to sell for the same amount I brought him in for, but I knew he wasn't going to be good enough. I was trying to, because I've got this rule where I can only sign 21 and under. Of course, you can only sign 6 players from abroad because of Brexit and everything. So I've had to sign British players, but they're just not good enough, and I've overspent on them, probably because of the position I'm in. I'm obviously the best club in England. Recently, I've not been doing so well. I've lost against Man United and Everton in the league. I only lost 1 game in the league last year. And building up to our first home game at West Ham Stadium, I'm not in the best of form. So a bit of a blip. We had a cracking start to the season, as you can see. But it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I'm okay, really. You might not really have found this video that interesting. It's just me rambling away about a save you have no idea and don't care about, really. But I'm having fun, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm having fun. I'm just going to click around a few things. We've still got plenty of money, as you can see. We got up to 637 million. That's when we paid for the stadium, and it's been downhill since then, but I just really wanted a new stadium. By the way, don't buy the London Stadium on Football Manager if you manage West Ham. It will cripple you. There's just no need. You're paying hardly any amount a month of rent a year. So just stick with it until you're in the position to get a new stadium. Oh, tactics. This is what I've been playing for years, and it's worked really well. 4-2-2-2 with wingers. 4-2-4, I guess it is, really. This isn't my usual starting 11, but yeah, it's I guess it's a Gegenpress type thing, custom Gegenpress. Gegenpress works in Football Manager, doesn't it? So yeah, I might make a video about my thoughts on Football Manager 2025, which obviously has been cancelled, and maybe my thoughts for the future, FM26. If you're interested in that, please let me know, leave a like, etc. Let me know the usual way that people do on YouTube these days to encourage creators to make more videos. Yeah, I'm never going to return to where I was before. If anything, releasing this video, there's going to be a load of people thinking, oh yeah, I remembered him. Unsubscribe. He doesn't do anything anymore. Why? I don't know how so many of you still subscribe to me. So many dead accounts. I'd be interested to see how many people actually watch this, because obviously I'm dead in the algorithm. So it might not reach anyone. And that's fine. I'm not expecting it to. I did reach, I think, 61,000 subscribers in my peak, and I've lost about 5,000 since then. But why are there so many people still subscribed? I guess you just don't really unsubscribe from channels on YouTube, do you, once you subscribe to them? Anyway, thanks for watching. As I say, if you want to check out the other video, link in the description below. I did recently appear on Dictate the Tempo podcast as well by the Northman. So if I remember, I'll try and put the link to that in the description below as well. But yeah, hope you're all well. I do really appreciate all the support all those years ago from you guys that watched me. And I do apologise for just sort of fizzling away, but hopefully you found new people to watch. There's been loads of YouTubers that have come up and become full-time YouTubers, which is incredible, really. Something I was never quite in the position to do back then, but maybe I would have been if I continued, but it was for the best. It was definitely for the best what happened. So yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.